Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar Wednesday on CFlex lighting upgrades. I'm Chris Levan, Energy Solutions Manager with Shadler Yesco. Your cameras and microphones are turned off to keep things running smoothly. Please post any questions in the chat and we will answer them at the end of the presentation. This training will be recorded and posted online for future viewing. I will now turn things over to Joe Vokert, who is our host. Go ahead, Joe.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining, and thanks to Shadler Yesco for setting this up. My name is Joe Volkert. I'm a product engineer for Synergy Electrical Sales. I've been with Synergy about 6 years now, but previous I spent 16 years in Lutron engineering, developing a lot of different control options. So as the local rep for both Lutron and light efficient design, we've been able to create retrofit kits to match your existing control systems to keep your controls and wiring and infrastructure, but upgrade LED and go forward in different options. So Synergy is the local rep for PA, Jersey, Delaware, and New York. We're based out of Fairless Hills, PA, and we cover a broad spectrum of different products. We have our architectural lines, we have our design, build, retrofit, where a lot of this falls in, and we have our electrical wholesale goods. So as part of my job, I was able to help Lutron and light efficient design merge to create a retrofit kit. In the next few months here, Lutron is going to be discontinuing and obsoleting fluorescent dimming ballasts. So prior to 2010, you were either expensive fluorescent switching or you were dimming with, fluorescent dimming ballasts. So there is a ton of dimming ballasts out there. And come the end of the year, you're not going to be able to get those anymore. So we now have a retrofit kit that includes those components to make your existing control system, whatever it is. So CFlex stands for control flexibility. Whatever controls you have, we have a way to make them LED and keep that existing infrastructure for what you have. So I wanted to back up for a little bit to talk about Lutron for a little bit. CFlex is control agnostic. It does have all the different control types, but a lot of what this deals with today is dealing with existing Lutron systems because of the fact that Lutron ballasts are going to be obsolete. There are other states starting to talk about discontinuing fluorescents altogether, California, New York, New Jersey. So the transition to LED has already happened on the fixture side, but with the retrofit side, we now have every solution to make fluorescents with mercury go away. So a little bit about Lutron. Mr. Spear, the founder of Lutron, invented the first dimmer in 1959 and actually got it to market in 1961. So that's your first rotary dimmer. That's the first dimmer that actually saved energy when dimming. He had learned in the military how to use triacs to basically cut your AC waveform. And so this is really for every existing product out there. You may come across slider dimmers. You may come across these graphic eyes in conference rooms. And what we're talking about today are these Lutron fluorescent dimming ballasts. So over Lutron's history, they have continually developed different control systems, control topologies. You have different dimming types. And so today we want to talk about how to identify those and the things you need to do to convert those to LED. Our first question when we get into any project is whether we're doing a new fixture or whether we're doing a retrofit. If we're doing a retrofit, today's discussion will go through all those details. But as you come across all the different Lutron styles, you can see Lutron has been around for almost 60 years now. You're going to come across a lot of different systems. I think the oldest one I found working recently was at St. Joe's University. It was an old Versaplex system from 1983. So we're talking about any control system that's up to 40 years old, that you have an option to, one, retrofit the controls, but also change your existing fluorescent lighting to LED. As we get through, and we'll talk about different control systems as well, this is Lutron's Vive system. So this is one we use a lot for design, build, retrofit, where you have a hub as a brain. You have different load control modules per zone to control the load. And then you have like battery powered aux sensors and daylight sensors and possibly keypads and switches that kind of go along. So even if your controls are working, at some point in time, they're going to need an upgrade. So this is where we recommend you contacting, Shadler Yesco or bring in a local support. And so we can help design the controls and the lighting for compatibility, integration, make sure you get smooth dimming, make sure you can keep the existing wiring to make installation easier, and kind of go through all those different details. So This is just an example of Lutron's Vive system. That's one option that we use to upgrade and going forward. The demand for CFlex is becoming enormous. We did some data mining when we first started this about 4 years ago. We found there's probably over 20 million Lutron ballasts out there throughout the country. And come October, you're not going to be able to get a replacement. So the demand for not only just retrofits and converting to LED is increasing because you're not going to be able to get the ballasts, but also certain things like this where commercial construction's down, people are retrofitting existing spaces more, keeping that commercial space. So we're really seeing an increase in spike in demand for this, but also the need for general knowledge of what to look for as you go through. Most people would have gotten, and this is a Lutron fluorescent dimming ballast, has a model number on it. Previously, you would just order this model number, but now you have to configure the lighting to create the kit that you need. There are many applications for this. We do every college and university I've been to has Lutron somewhere, some type of fluorescent dimming still. We do hospitality, healthcare, regular commercial office space. I can't even tell you how many churches I've been to that have some type of Lutron dimming system in it. And that's where we work on whatever controls you have. We try to work on that infrastructure to upgrade to LED. So there are many, many applications, and almost everywhere you had dimming that was built prior to 2010 will typically have some type of Lutron system in it. There are other control types like 0 to 10, everything else, and we work with those as well. So it's more, the Lutron is the immediate need because the fluorescent dimming ballasts are going away, but we also run into a lot of old panels and dimming systems and other things you can't get components for. So we, as Synergy, work with Shadler and our local electricians to upgrade your lighting and controls. So the CFlex kit is basically whatever fluorescent dimming ballast Lutron made, we have a way to make it LED. And so there's different types of control types. You have Lutron Ecosystem, which is basically a hot neutral and a purple. That's Lutron's Dolly system. You have old school 3-wire, which is a neutral, a dimmed hot, and a hot, typically coming off some type of panel or graphic eye. And that basically uses 3-wire dimming control. You'll find that a lot for 277 volt. It's basically how fluorescents had to dim back in the day. And so we have direct LED driver replacements. This is a Lutron ballast. This is a Lutron driver. So they're the form factors, they're identical inputs. So your wiring on your hot side is identical from whatever your control input's coming in. And then we have every LED option to control that. LVD is line voltage dimming. That's 2-wire. That's like wiring for your house, right? You're like a regular dimmer. That's available at 120 volt only. It's a little harder commercially if you have 277 volt. And then 0 to 10 volt has become the standard for any new fixture and type. Like I said before 2010, you were either expensive fluorescent dimming or you were switching. Now you get 0 to 10 volt for free on every fixture. So dimming is enabled basically for free. It's either a switching fixture or it has 0 to 10 volt enabled. You just decide to dim it or not. So it's costs more to switch these days than it does to dim because the controls are the same. You save energy, you get longer longevity from dimming, things like that. So a lot of these, even in the latest version of DLC, they're recommending that they're not recommending, they require that you have dimming capability to get rebates. So dimming, even just for daylight control, this is a little daylight sensor. We're able to have the lights dim automatically. You have to have a dimming system set up for that. So almost every system that's spec new already has a dimming system, has daylighting set up or aux sensing and basically manual control. This retrofit kit allows you to upgrade to those existing controls, go to LED, but maintain your existing wiring and infrastructure. There are different types of options. So this is a regular T5 lamp. It's glass. It looks fluorescent. It acts fluorescent, except it's got direct replacement to your 28 watt 4-foot T5 HEs or your 54 watt T5 HOs. It becomes a ballast swap. We've done a lot of installations on these, and the time it takes to change a ballast is the time it takes to change a kit. We're looking at about a 15-minute ballast swap. The difference is you have to configure the lighting with the ballast because you have to get the driver with the lamps per UL, so you make sure you get the right kit to drive those lamps. So all these options come in 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot. We have compact fluorescent, biax. We also have this bar, which is our BAR. This is a 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, or 4 foot, up to 4 bars, 180-degree lens, has magnets on the side of it, and then zip screws on the end. So you can literally just magnet this in. You have a low voltage class 2 output to your LED driver. So everything at the sockets or at the bar is low voltage and safe. And this is a direct replacement for a lot of applications. This is a problem solver for cove lighting, for some biax fixtures that like are brittle, and if you have brittle sockets. So the bar is a great option and is available with all the different driver types. Looking here, we have your different controls, right? So if you don't understand what control type you have at your facility or what you're walking into, one thing you can do is just look for a control panel, look for an identifier, a model number on a dimmer or a keypad. And one thing you'll need to know is the ballast information that's in the fixture. So I'm just going to go to the next page here. So when you look at a ballast, Lutron ballasts have what we call a 3-digit prefix. So if you had a ballast that starts with FDB, I know that ballast is 3-wire dimming. ECO is another older ballast. These are probably 2008 and before. These are also 3-wire. EC5 can be a dual input. Some of Lutron ballasts are dual input. So that's where EC5 and H3D and EC3D can be both. And that's where some Lutron drivers have a dual input. This L3D driver has both a 3-wire and ecosystem input. So if you don't know, it's best to choose the 3-wire option because that's a dual input. We also have EHD, which is ecosystem only. And then this is one of our options. These are 10-volt drivers. So this is the same configuration, uses the same lamps, but if you have 0 to 10-volt controls, we would use these drivers as your 10-volt option. But when you read a Lutron ballast model number, you'll see something like this where it says T832 or FDB-T832. And this is kind of your matrix because fluorescent lamps are configured by their wattage of their lamp. So a T514 is a 2-foot T5 lamp. So if you were able to give Shadler or Synergy a Lutron ballast model number and the color temperature you need, we can easily configure the CFlex kit needed to go forward. But this is kind of a matrix of what control type you can expect based on what ballast model number you have. This is the ordering guide for the CFlex product. So CFlex is a branch of light efficient design. So we'll go through that later, but light efficient design has REMFOS, they have Breeze EV, they have Solera for solar, and then CFlex is the line where they can sell the Lutron and other retrofit kits. You have to be the Lutron rep to sell CFlex. So in Synergy's territory, we're the light efficient design, REMFOS, Breeze EV, Solera, and CFlex rep. If you go out of our territory, you might run into multiple reps for all, but Synergy covers this for all of our territory. So just kind of going through this ordering guide quick, you see so this configuration will configure the lights and the LED driver you need to retrofit your existing Lutron ballast. So let's say, for example, we have a 4-foot, 2-lamp T8 Lutron 3-wire that we want 3500K lamps. So that would be an RP. We have our different configurations here. So it'd be a regular T8, that's your 32-watt. Your 32-watt T8 turns into 15 watts of LED. So you will right off the top, by going to these retrofit kits, get a 50 to 55% energy savings off the top. Plus they're DLC listed, so they qualify for any local rebates that are available. So this kit would be an RP, T8, 4-foot, 2-lamp. Here's your color temperature, so we'll do 835. And that's where we get into our different driver types now. This is what basically determines what control options you're using. E1 is Lutron ecosystem only. 2-wire is Lutron's 2-wire or LVD. Those are both 2-wire options that are only available at 120 volt. Lutron 3-wire, which is 120 and 277. You have your base 0 to 10 volt option, which is also 120 and 277. And then we have a dolly option that it's more European, but we have run across a couple dolly jobs. That's where you get, so we would choose 3-wire here. Then you get into your can types. So we call your M can our linear or our stick. And then we have our K can, and I say K for compact. So our M can is our 14 by 1 by 1. This is for T8s, T5s, 2 foot, 3 foot, and 4 foot, and this is going to be a direct replacement to your existing fixture. When you get into a compact fluorescent, you get into a K can. And so that's a 3-inch by 4-inch. And then you can get those with and without studs. So these are typically 6-inch downlights. I'll go to the next page for the compacts here quick because they kind of go through them a little better. So this is a studded K-can. This driver would typically mount it on a junction box above and attached to the downlight. And so you need to know if you need studs. If it's a compact fluorescent, you know, sometimes you'll have some surface mount. You can see the non-studded version allows you to get leads in through the side. The studded version basically mounts to a J box and you have your leads coming out. But this is the identical form factor of your existing Lutron ballast. So that's why this kit is so nice, because it turns into a ballast replacement. A lot of people are panicking and worried that we're getting rid of ballast, but we have an identical solution that's LED to replace any of these fixtures. So this gets into your G24Q base, right? That's your 4-pin compact fluorescent. And so we have some different lamp options. One thing when you're doing compacts, you have to tell, is it a 1 lamp or a 2 lamp? Is it horizontally mounted or is it vertically mounted, right? So this is a horizontal lamp. It'll give you 1,000 lumens straight down. Your 32 watt CFL becomes 10 watts of LED. This is an omnidirectional. So this lamp can go horizontal or vertical, but sometimes when you have a horizontal fixture, this lamp will be too tall. So this is another option for it. And then we have a round puck that you can actually add extenders. This is another great vertical option, gives a smooth downlight, and this is keeping your existing can. Again, this is for any application where the fixture's in good shape. You don't want to change the fixture out. Your ballasts are starting to go. You can't get replacements. And so this is a direct replacement to your existing Lutron fluorescent dimming system. There's also some higher output options down here, D and E. Those will replace up to a 2-lamp 42 watt. It's a heavy, so one thing I found with compacts is sockets sometimes get a little brittle. So you always want to test and look at the quality. Again, our first decision when we're doing this, are we going new fixture or are we going retrofit? And socket and fixture condition usually determines a lot of that. If a fixture's been running for 20 years and you have if the lenses are brittle, sockets are brittle, it may be time for a new fixture. But any other option, we have, again, every compact fluorescent, biax, T8 linear, every option we need to replace these. This is just a demo case that's available that kind of shows you the different lamp types. This is your T5. This is a biax PLL, so that's your 4 pins in a row. That can do a 40, 50, or 55 watt biax replacement. These are the larger compacts I don't have here with me. Again, these are your K-can, all tied into a Lutron Vibe PAL pack. So this is just a demo case we have to carry around, but we always have samples. If you guys ever need or have a project and you will have a ballast out or you want to test the LED solution, we do offer samples to any customer that wants to try it. So I usually have a box of drivers and lamps in my car, or we can order one from Light Efficient Design and just have the customer try it, make sure they're comfortable with it, because they want to test the color, they want to make sure it works. We've done this enough that we know it's going to work, but we do offer that as a sample option if you want to try it. Part of the Light Efficient Design and CFlex line is also a new fixture. So part of CFlex is a new flat panel or a new volumetric fixture that's 1x4, 2x2, or 2x4 that also includes whatever Lutron or other driver type you need to be compatible with your existing system. I'm going to back up 1 second here because one thing I forgot to cover. Some of your commercial spaces where for emergency will either be generator fed or there'll be battery backup. So if you have a CFlex kit here and you configure whatever model you need, if you add -EMG right here to the end of it, that will give you your emergency battery backup with test switch that's compatible with that LED kit. So some of you will run into Bodines or other emergency backup ballasts that'll need to be converted to LED drivers. So we do have the emergency battery backup as an option. You just configure the kit, add -EMG, and that'll provide the emergency necessary to configure your emergency kit. They also have some standalone options where you can get a 1-foot bar or just an LED bar, a board with a driver that's basically a separate circuit. So you can literally add emergency anywhere by sticking an LED board on, and then this driver just powers when normal power is running. runs that LED board if you need a test switch. So there's a lot of easy, good ways to do emergency as well. Going to the new fixture, we run into these a lot because sometimes it's easier if, again, the condition of the fixture determines it. But the CFlex fixtures also have every Lutron ecosystem, 3-wire, 2-wire, 0 to 10, dolly, all those configurations are built into it. Plus, they have Lutron's latest and greatest, newest wireless options where you can get a sensor built into the fixture for Vive or Athena or something else you want to try, have control types for, so we can upgrade your controls and go to new fixtures. So a lot of these, almost every one of these jobs that's existing Lutron requires a site visit. So please feel free to contact us if you need any support to help design these. Some of the systems are complicated and just need some eyes and ears to help figure out what you need. Another option we use with Vive a lot is light efficient designs. We call it the LBI. So it's basically a linkable bar. So this guy has flex color and flex watt built into it. I'm just gonna power this up real quick. So sorry if I'm not blinding you guys. I just hit my mouse, sorry. So this is a flex color, flex power, linkable light bar that you can connect up to 160 feet on one single continuous run. So if you have staggered T8s, if you have fluorescent coves, if you have any type of option where you need a continuous cove lighting, this basically gives you seamless connectors, a flexible power, has 0 to 10 volt built into it, and off of one Vive module, you can do a 160-foot run of continuous LED strips. This is the product we see, just, it's a problem solver. It's a really easy to install. You have basically linking connectors, you have magnetic snap-on clips that just clip on, and you just zip screw it down. It's just one of the best products we've had for the cost. It's a great option when you have cove, some elevator lighting, some, whatever you need to put it at, but it's just a great option we wanted to show as an option, because all these applications, I can't tell you how many jobs we still go to that are still fluorescent. And the customers just need support getting these upgraded to LED, understanding what controls they have, and getting them ready for the next, 10 to 20 years. Even though they're LED and they say they live long, I think, a lot of us are seeing the first generation of LEDs starting to die. You go around town, you see blinking lights. So even though LEDs will last forever, they still have electronics in them. So most LEDs are still spec'd and last about 10 years. We've been getting, 20 years out of our controls, but over time, all these solutions need to be upgraded. And, us at Synergy and Shadler, we're here to support you guys. We run around all of our territory working on these existing products, and we hope we can help and continue to support you guys going forward. I don't know, do we have Mario here? It's Mario.
No.
Hey, Joe.
Oh, there he is.
I'm right
Hey,
here
Marius.
sitting next to Jenna. You did a phenomenal job. We greatly appreciate you doing that.
Sure. So I'm going to turn it over to Mario Luna. Mario is our regional manager for light efficient design. He's another great resource for us, and I'll turn it over to Mario.
Thanks, Joe. So yeah, like Joe was saying, CFlex is another addition to our extensive brand line. We have light efficient design, Rumfoss, Solera, CFlex, which we introduced about 3 years ago, and then our recent development, which is Breeze EV, which is our electrical vehicle offering, charger offering. So it's a wide range of different product categories. And then I don't know, I don't have the slide thing. Yeah, this just gives a little background about our company. We actually just celebrated our 15th year in business. We operate out of both Boston and Chicago. And then also we have 5 different warehouses around the US. Just some company strengths. We're financially strong and stable. Distribution and project centric channels. Lutron compatible retrofit kits, which is CFlex, like we were showing you. The EV stuff. And then we were one of the first ones to come out with the HID retrofits. And we've done some solar projects as well. Just to give you also a little background too, or I shouldn't say background, but additional information. We do carry some of these kits in our Middleton, Massachusetts warehouse. So some of these kits are readily available if you guys want to do some mock-ups. If we don't have the kits available, by all means, we could still get you one. Lutron has done a better job, at least in terms of lead time, getting either a 3-wire or ecosystem driver to us in a less amount of time. I think now it's averaging about 2 to 3 weeks. And then also too, if you guys do have any projects for a complete bill of material, it's readily, we could get it to you a lot sooner than prior. And then also too, I think lastly, some opportunities wise, I know that, I think, Joe, didn't they in the Harrisburg branch, there's a setup or a mock-up, right?
Yeah, actually, the counter at Shadler right there in Harrisburg, I think there's 16 6-lamp T5HO high bays on Lutron's quantum system. Those were retrofitted a few years ago that have CFlex in it as well, right? So you guys already have the solution. It's more as the ballasts are becoming discontinued, you're going to have a lot of customers come that are trying to get a ballast that they're not going to be able to get. It's understanding how to convert and can change this over, but there are a ton of opportunities out there.
Right. And then too, a lot of new opportunities are universities. That's a big opportunity. And also like libraries and hospitals are probably your 3 biggest opportunities. Other than that, I think that's it. If any questions do come up, you can either ask Joe or myself. We could help assist with that answer.
Yeah, and please reach out to Shadler. They know how to contact us. They get involved in a lot of different things, and we can help project manage, set up site visits, go through any product details, and help specify and configure the things you need. Right, a lot of these design build retrofit jobs, they don't have an engineer, they don't have an architect. You basically have us to help design and modify and help figure out what you need. So we're basically free labor to help you guys design your retrofit solutions for your market.
All right. Well, I'll wrap this up by thanking everyone for attending today. If you would like more information on this topic or have additional questions, please reach out to your sales rep, or you can email us at info@sydist.com. Thanks and have a great day.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, everyone.